cities and communities projects to create a sustainable, innovative, and citizen-led community of smart cities in Europe and beyond. And it does so by networking and connecting all stakeholders and guiding them towards replication and improvement of their own performance and beyond. So this is a little bit of the context, and the mission in particular of Scalable Cities is the one of identifying and promoting solutions and business models that can be scaled up and replicated across Europe. So solutions include many themes, from mobility, smart buildings, smart infrastructure, to citizen engagement, data platform, and everything else that you see on the screen. I'm just going to mute everybody else. So the scope and network. Michael, you still cannot hear?
I can hear you, Sylvia. Maybe
Yeah, I can.
on yours end.
Michael, maybe just please, you could try and log out and back in, and so maybe it's just a glitch because everybody else is able to hear. So maybe you just have the time to log in and out quickly. But otherwise, I will continue. So this is a map of all the cities that are part of the community. As you can see, it's over 120. It's a very large network, and they span across 18 different projects. So these actually on the map are the projects that since 2014 have been involved in Scalable Cities. And as you can see, the latest additions are from 2023. So it's a very much a growing network. And the focus of these cafes and the focus of today's are the support services that are provided by Scalable Cities. I'm just going to admit, and today we will be focusing on the city coordinators group, but in the upcoming meetings, in the upcoming events, you will be able to get information about all the other that you see on the screen. So please, I know that many of you signed up for the newsletter, but I will also be posting news, and you will be able to keep track of the upcoming cafes. Now, to get a sense of the room, I would like to start before our presentation with just a quick activity on Slido. You probably have been already confronted with this in other webinars. We've had a lot in the past years, but it's going to be very easy. Just there you have it. Just scan the code you see on the screen and let us know where you're joining us from. All right. Somebody else is in Paris. Great. It's always good to see how spread around this community is. I think it's always beautiful to visualize it and to get a sense of how places like the city coordinators group really help to bridge also this big geographical difference, because from Rome to Brussels to Vaasa, Seville, yeah. This is good. Let's see if somebody else is still typing in. Right. Okay. Well, it's very good to have you here again. I will leave now the floor to Sofia and Elina, who will give you proper insight into the work of the CCG, the City Coordinators Group. And I will just also show pictures of them in case you haven't noticed them in the call already. But please, if you want to speak up, I will open your presentations and you can,
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elina. I am here today with my colleague Sofia, and we are the coordinators of the City Coordinators Group. I see some familiar names already in this call, so maybe those who are already part of CCG, this information will not be so new and groundbreaking for you, but it's still nice to have you here, and maybe you'll find something useful here anyway. So We were asked to introduce CCG and explain how we came to be and what is the benefit of us. So you heard about these 18 groundbreaking innovative projects funded by Horizon 2020 and now also Horizon Europe. And the City Coordinators Group is a platform that gathers the cities from these projects. And specifically, we aim to address the challenges of cities and create space for them to exchange and talk and share their knowledge and solutions. And yeah, maybe next slide. So why CCG? We saw in these projects, we have 18 projects and all of them are working on different smart city solutions, replicating from lighthouse cities to fellow cities, but we kind of noticed that there's not enough exchanges and talking between the cities who are actually implementing these solutions in their cities, in their streets, and in their houses. So City Coordinators Group aims to gather all the cities together and have this platform and have this place for them to talk, the cities to talk with each other and exchange and build new projects and maybe find inspiration from how other cities are addressing different challenges. Yes, so that's the big why behind CCG. And how do we work? Well, each year we design a roadmap and we set objectives. And in 2023, we set 3 objectives, which was knowledge sharing, partnership building, and advocacy. So we try to reach these objectives by bringing the cities together, both in-person meetings or online. With knowledge sharing, we really try to facilitate the knowledge exchange and bring in cities and their best practices from their projects. For partnership building, we try to design sessions where cities can present new project ideas or anything else that they are working on or thinking of working on, and they would need new project partners. And for advocacy, we really try to voice the city needs on the EU level. Next slide. Yes, so how do we work? This year, we set the target of 6 meetings per year, and we have already actually had 6 meetings, but there will be one coming up in December. And in these meetings, we try to gather the cities together and we set a specific topic. So if it is knowledge sharing, then we set a specific topic. For example, in February, we tackled energy communities. And then the cities from these 18 projects who have something to share, they can be there, present, and other cities can ask questions and kind of start a conversation. And for partnership building, as I said, we either do it in person during a Scalable Cities event. So all of these projects under Scalable Cities, they often meet in person or they have final conferences or other events. And if there is a chance, we always try to also bring the City Coordinators Group to these in-person events and organize a session in person. And we also, me and Sofia in Scalable Cities, we also are in charge of the Action Grant, which is a small-scale grant aimed for replicating smart city solutions. And we try to really shape this grant with the City Coordinators Group. So some of our meetings are dedicated exactly for this, for finding the hot topics among the cities, for finding the things that cities most need financial support for, and then designing the action grant calls based on that. And so what I wanted to say, the last meeting of this year will be held on 12th of December from 10 to 11:30. And more information will be coming out soon, but this will be a knowledge sharing session and we will focus on positive energy districts. So if you're interested in that, later in my slides, you will see a possibility to register for the group. Feel free to register. You will be then welcome to the group and you will also be able to attend this event. Next slide, please. Yes, so aside from the meetings, whenever there is an in-person meeting, we also offer financial support to help the cities from ended projects attend these in-person events. This is a financial support to pay for travel and accommodation, and it has a limit of 450 euros per person. And one city can apply twice a year for this, so up to they can attend up to 2 meetings a year. We are negotiating with the European Commission at the moment to increase this limit because of the inflation and all the prices are rising, and we hope that we can deliver news that this is a bigger grant in the future. And more information about this you can find in the CCG roadmap. It's also accessible online on the Smart Cities Marketplace website. There's a link here. You will receive the presentation later, so you can read more about it there. Next slide. Who can join the CCG? So you heard about 120 cities that are in the Scalable Cities community. As for now, we have 90 cities in our community, but not all of them are from the project. We also are open to observer cities. So any city who is a signatory of Covenant of Mayors or is part of any other network like Net Zero Cities, EUCF, or any other network committed to the energy transition and smart cities, anyone who is interested and is willing to benefit and also contribute to this group, you are welcome to become an observer city, even if you are not part of these Horizon Smart Cities projects. And as I said, as of now, we now have 90 cities in our group. 85 of them are from the Horizon projects, but 5 of them already are observers. Next slide. And how to join? It's really quite simple. You have to fill in this registration form, and the form will come back to us, me and Sofia. We will approve you, and then you will be added to our mailing list. You will also have access to our Google Drive, where you can find information like presentations from past events, contact information, more information on the 18 projects, and anything else. I think that is it from my side, but of course, all the questions, we're here to answer all the questions today. Sofia, did you maybe want to add something?
No, I think you covered it all. Thank you so much, Elina. Maybe just one little thing is that we are also using, as you mentioned it, but we are also using the City Coordinators Group as a platform where we gather all the key opportunities that are opening for cities that are interested in energy transition towards climate neutrality and that are involved in smart cities. So we often send emails to the members of our community to communicate, for example, when a new call for the European City Facility opens, for example, Net Zero Cities opportunities, and also, of course, the action grants and other services from the Scalable Cities Secretariat and community.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you very much. That was very timely. Very. I'm definitely proud of the time management on this presentation up so far, and it leaves us good time for also a little bit of exchange. And maybe we could facilitate. This is a cafe, so it's an informal conversation, and it's an opportunity to ask directly those questions. As we saw from the cloud earlier, we're very, very far, and we don't always travel to the same events. Maybe to kind of lean into the conversation, we could use another Slido that I prepared and kind of try to highlight, and you don't have to write only one answer, you can have more, but kind of like summing up in 1 or 2 words some of the challenges that your city is facing and that, oh, Elina, sorry. Please.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to say that this is a really great question for us, for me and Sofia, actually, because we are now working on the roadmap of 2024. And in this roadmap, we would really like to highlight the topics that we can work on in the next year, so 2024. So these challenges that you have, please do share them with us. That it would be very interesting for us to see, and maybe we can then devote some knowledge sharing sessions specifically on the things that you are most interested in.
Yeah, so
also use the microphone and speak up if you wish.
Yeah, you can also use the microphone, and you have both options. Somebody's already typing, so let's see. Yeah. That's
Yes, Diego, go ahead.
yeah, please feel free to both speak up or just
Yeah,
write.
hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I do have a question because I see in Andalusia only Granada is the only city active. So I wonder if Seville and or Jerez in the province of Cádiz, can we join and how? Because this is all it's very complex to me. I was reading a lot of materials from you, but I'm sorry, I'm very new to this topic, so it's very complex. How can we join, please? If you can tell me in a phrase or with us link, a site or something like that.
Yes, I was just sharing it 2 slides ago, but you will receive it in this presentation. There was a slide saying how to join. You just have to click on that link and fill in a registration form, and then you will receive more information with email.
And by the way, just to add, Diego, you did register already because we just received your registration. It's just that we had 2 very long events that took our last 2 weeks. So
Yes,
we haven't come back
we
to
have
you yet.
we have your registration. We just have to process it and send you welcome to CCG email, and we will do it shortly. Okay, nice.
I see some people are still writing into the poll.
And once you are registered, you will keep receiving these emails. So whenever there's a new event, like our session in December, you will receive an email about that. Whenever there's any other opportunity, we will keep you posted via email.
Yeah, we'll allow those people who are still typing to, oh, wow, that popped up. I don't know if it loaded slowly on my phone, but
Every word in a different thing.
I guess it looks like now each word is a new topic, so we have to puzzle it together.
oh, beautiful. That's new. Well, then maybe that's a good input for just allowing people to unmute themselves and kind of bring up those topics if you prefer, because I mean, some of those did break up, some of those did not, but there's definitely a lot happening on the screen.
Sorry, from Ioannina, Urania. I think
Yeah.
that I write sentences and they break up in words.
Okay, well,
I would be glad
then
to put them together if you want.
then the technology got the best of us. But
Yes,
why
I'm
don't
so
you?
sorry. I don't know why that
No,
happens.
I don't think I
First
definitely
answer.
don't think it's
Yeah.
definitely not you. But since you already unmuted yourself, maybe you want to kind of ask some questions directly to Elina or Sofia, and
The sentence I wrote was low political commitment in achieving the very ambitious goals we set in our strategic plans, the sustainability goals we set. So we write strategic plans about sustainable urban mobility, sustainable energy. They are very, very ambitious, but then we are not equally ambitious in achieving these goals. So we have a problem in following up our own strategic plans with real projects. So we just make plans and then we have a difficulty in realizing the projects we propose. So that was one of my sentences. And then I wrote about citizen engagement, which I think it's quite common for all fellow cities, because we are a fellow city in a positive project. And we don't actually realize through the project any projects. So we have a really hard time committing stakeholders to it. Oh, I'm so sorry. Now I will mute myself.
No, thank you so much.
please. Which city are you representing? Sorry, because I don't think we've met before.
Ioannina from the municipality of Ioannina from Greece.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well,
Really, it is always nice to hear more from the fellow cities because indeed, in some cases, they get a little bit overlooked. You do not have that much of funding from the Horizon project, and it is indeed harder to engage the society. We have another hand.
yeah, Michael, please.
Okay, thank you. Nice to see all of you. My sentence also split up, so it says models for portfolio management and follow-up. And I'm working with the city of Lund in Sweden, and we are right now working with a couple of modules for a model for analyzing our portfolio of climate projects and a model for following up impact more on ecosystem level, not the individual project, but what effects the projects together have in the total ecosystem of stakeholders. And we would be interested to find other examples of this and discuss what development of these models could be done, because as we are, I would say, quite an advanced city, so we work a lot with, say, pushing the last emissions out of the system, and in that the municipality has only decision power of small parts, and we need models to understand also what other parts that other stakeholders can do in the system. So any cities working on trying to figure out how to analyze their portfolio of climate projects and follow-up impact would be of interest for us.
Hi, I wanted to thank you, Michael, for this input. In fact, this is a question that was started to be discussed 2 years ago when we discussed that one of the main challenges that cities were facing is really how to accelerate the process of transition. And so there was this understanding that there was a need of a change of how things were done at the municipal level. There was a need of a change in governance. And this ended up into a report that is currently available and published on the Smart City Marketplace website on systemic changes in governance. And it is the result of several consultations also with cities from the City Coordinators Group that is really targeting all the aspects that the cities needs to tackle to accelerate the process and to consider also portfolios of actions and not just one project in silos that then is not communicating with the others. But I think that I'm not sure if there is a direct model for portfolio management for the cities. And this is a really good question. And is also an example of what you can ask to the CCG, because the idea is that through the City Coordinators Group, you can also ask these kind of questions and we can help you to disseminate and circulate them with the community in order to collect inputs. So we can ask these questions in our next email to the City Coordinators Group and see if we will receive any feedback. Did you register to the CCG, Michael? I remember that we met in Valencia, but...
Yeah. It was really good being in Valencia. And I had the grant or the subsidies for traveling. So that was great also. But now we have developed models for this together with OECD's Observatory of Public Sector Innovation. And that's available on webinars, I think, on their website and others. But we see still a lot of need for further development of this, understanding better and being able to, say, identify gaps in our current portfolio. But also, what we all struggle with, trying to understand the financial analysis of the projects and the portfolio as a whole. So any efforts here, I've seen the report on the marketplace, and I think we should go further from that onwards.
But I think this is a really great topic, and we should really consider it for the 2024, because this is not, we have heard this from many projects that, you know, the one project in the city is kind of a drop in the ocean, but we are all talking about lowering the emissions and all these grand 2050 goals. But if you have a project here and there, but you don't really get to zoom out and measure what is the bigger impact, it's hard. One project that already comes to my mind, it's not directly from Scalable Cities, but it is a Horizon project, is a Klima Borough that we just started as Energy Cities. And there we're actually working with an urban data platform, so kind of trying to link whatever project is happening in the city with the data, and then linking the data with the CO2 emissions or the lowering of the emissions. But not to get into the topic now, just to let you know that you can definitely talk to us more about this, and we can also bring it up in the CCG, maybe even organize a session around this.
Yeah, we're just last words before someone else might take the floor. We're trying to hand in a pilot city application, second round on this, and if we get through the process, we would have a project on this, and then we would be even more happy to find other cities to collaborate with.
Okay, great. A pilot city application for what, if I may ask?
For putting the different pieces of a model that we have and use, and that is, I think, quite advanced already, but we need to add functionality, and we need to put it into a coherent system. So that is, very short, the topic. Then it's 100,000 small letters in that application. Thank you.
Maybe just to mention that there is another opportunity. It will be presented in one of the next webinars. Maybe Silvia knows when. There will be the presentation also of the call for experts. That is another service by Scalable Cities, not directly the CCG, but through the call for experts, it is also possible to hire experts. So the community and cities can ask for either peer-to-peer. So for example, if a city wants to learn from another city, there is the possibility to ask for this peer-to-peer support to support this collaboration and knowledge sharing. And also, eventually, if this is a topic that is interesting several members of the community, there is also the possibility to ask the Secretariat to launch a call for experts that will deliver a report on this topic in order to collect several examples. And in that case, experts, at present, there is an ongoing work from experts that are analyzing how did the replication worked. For example, during the last 9 years between fellows, and then they used to be called follower cities, now they're fellow cities. What did it change? How did the replication work across different projects within the projects? So, for example, now there is a pool of experts that is responding to these questions and carrying out interviews on this. So if this is also a topic that interests several members of the community, there is the possibility also to potentially launch a call for experts for this.
And sorry, I don't know if Elina, you wanted to get back on that as well? Or
no, go ahead.
I just saw that there are a couple more contributions in the chat, and I wanted to, as moderator today, to kind of like flag these also for you to answer. The first one, I don't know which this comment was in relation to, but thank you for this contribution about this French project, the Roofscapes project. Actually, I do know it. But just flagging that this project is available in the chat. But Diego was also asking if you have a form to join the corporate experts you were discussing. But if the call for experts, I think that's what you meant. If I can respond, we will hold another café that will, as Sofia said, we will focus more specifically on this topic. So kind of a similar scenario to today, but focusing on that opportunity. And that will likely happen. Thank you, Sofia, for putting in the link, will probably be in either December or January. Still to define the calendar. Yeah, and so is anything else? What will be a next question? Also based on kind of the inputs you added to the poll. I saw that Urania, who spoke earlier, dropped out of the call, which is a bit of a shame because I would have liked to get back to her and the comments she was making. But yeah, please jump in if you have any doubts about what was explained today, or if you have any suggestions on topic that you would like the city coordinators group to target in the year to come, since you probably already have sent your application. I leave the floor to you, or just pop a comment in the chat.
May I ask another thing then, as
Yeah.
no one else is doing? I had a discussion with the Scalable Cities group on business models and financing. And they are looking for best practice on business models, going through the different lighthouse projects. Always a complicated process, but sitting in on those meetings, I realized that they don't have access to the European City Facility Grant results. And in City of Lund, we got that grant, and we have made 4 investment concepts that now has been validated. The, say, collaboration and on information and business models dissemination seems not to be integrated between the 2 projects. How is that?
You mean that the information exchange between EUCF and Scalable Cities? I didn't understand.
Yep. Yeah. It's hard to find clear business cases, business models or investment cases within the lighthouse projects, because they weren't from the start focused on that. In the European City Facility, the focus is getting investment cases or investment concepts up and possible to replicate and copy. But it seems there is very little of sharing information between those 2 processes, which means the Scalable Cities only have now the investment concepts I sent them from City of Lund to look at. And there must be many more within a European City Facility process that has been validated and would be available for cities to learn from. So I wonder why it's not a mutual learning process in these 2 different processes.
Yes, you ask difficult questions. I think mostly the number one thing I can tell you at the moment is that it really hasn't been a focus of CCG. It hasn't been identified as the business models. Yes, we have a task group in Scalable Cities working on it, but in CCG we haven't identified that as a priority. At least the cities haven't brought it up as one of the things to talk about in our sessions. But as for our work with EUCF, we always try to promote their grants and whatever they offer in our CCG group. But maybe the work between the task group and the EUCF could be better.
Okay.
And maybe that will be answered to the next webinar on the roadshow, which is another service from Scalable Cities, also connecting the capacity building to support cities to understand which business models to use to scale up the solutions that have been developed. If they are mature enough, they have been developed as mature enough in the projects. So this will be presented in the next webinar. Maybe Sylvia can mention the date if it's already known. And just maybe another answer to that is that the European City Facility is funding one particular specific project with a very wide community of cities that are working. And we are one of the other parallel initiatives that are currently working. So it is very difficult when it comes to operations to coordinate with all the activities that are happening from another program. So we are collaborating with them. Energy Cities, Elina and I work for Energy Cities, and we are also the coordinators of the European City Facility, but it's two different processes. And so it's not the main priority of the city coordinators group, as Elina said.
However, if the cities do want it to be a priority, we need to hear from the cities in CCG and tell us that for the next roadmap, this should be a priority.
Yeah, and maybe even just to say that 2 years ago, we have funded the first trend of the first call for proposal of the action grant was
right.
Connected to European City Facility. It was to develop innovative financing mechanisms for cities. And 3 weeks ago, or maybe already a month ago, in Trondheim, we invited some of the cities that were funded for that grant, that presented how did they use this business model and what did they develop. So maybe just to share, this was shared with the community in a CCG event in Trondheim a month ago. And there was also one of the strands of the action grant that was funding this 2 years ago. Then it didn't become another topic of interest for the city, so we decided to stop this trend in the action grant. So actually the city coordinators group is really a very useful tool also if you want to bring up topics and ideas that you think are priorities, top priorities for the cities to be funded for the next calls. And in fact, this is also the topics that will be announced this week for the third call for proposals come from discussions with cities from the city coordinators group.
I saw that another comment was popped into the chat by Maria from Baza that mentioned climate adaptation as a potential topic and referring to the climate adaptation charter. And yeah, so I was wondering, Elina, Sofia, if this is something that has already come within your radar, like as a specific topic for the CCG, or how your work has focused on adaptation, maybe. Maybe that's what she meant, but obviously, Maria, if you want to further expand on your comment and / question, you can do so.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, please.
You're online. Yeah, I was just reading on the chat or in the picture in the Slido show the climate adaptation, and I just wanted to bring up, if it's not familiar for everyone, that the climate adaptation charter, I'm very impressed by the work and knowledge available and support available for the cities there. So just as advice, if someone wants to get more information, you're all specialists, and definitely I'm sure you're or very much aware of these things, but I just wanted to make sure that it's known for everyone, also this channel of work. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Maria. Really great. This is a great opportunity indeed. We have not shared about this in our network, but we can definitely do so in our next newsletter.
Thank you. And Julia, I saw you also commented. Was this in referring to Maria's contribution? If so, yeah, just flagging that she would like to stay in contact on this topic, which is great. It's great to see that there is already kind of an exchange happening. So I hope that the cities that still haven't joined the group will, because it's really like how you get to learn about things most of the times, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Thank you, Julia. Is there any other comment, any other topic that you think Elina and Sofia should be looking closely at for the future roadmap of the CCG? I also saw your comment, Diego. Sorry, just going back a little bit, backtracking a little bit on the or is it on the expert group? I will get back to you on that, because as I said, we will be organizing another event. So if the deadline is outdated, probably still it's because a new one hasn't been published yet. But I will be get back to you. Yeah. Anything else that you would like to bring up? If not, maybe I can ask a little question to Elina and Sofia, because I'm very interested myself in your work, although we do work together. But I was wondering, so you already kind of responded in terms of the next events that cities should be aware of if they want to get involved. Would that be therefore December 12th for the next CCG, or is any other upcoming things that maybe they want to be informed about?
So the next session is December 12th. It will be happening online, and we have set the topic for positive energy district.
Okay, well, that's good. And then, well, another question that I would like to ask, there is maybe like a success story or something that really pops up in like the work of the city coordinators group, or of some of your achievements for the previous years that you would like to share, to kind of give us a little bit of a history of the work of the group so far, if anything comes to mind, because I also joined not too long ago, so a lot of the work you've done, I still haven't had the opportunity to know about. So if you have anything that you would like to share also with the other cities present today, as an inspiration as well.
So I would like to mention, so as Elina was mentioning at the beginning, we organize these partnership building sessions. How do they usually work? We usually ask the members of the city coordinators group if they have project ideas that they want to, that they're working on for new projects, and not necessarily Scalable Cities Action Grant, but it can be any call for proposals, mainly usually it is Horizon or Life calls, and cities can send us their draft, and then we circulate it with the community, and then we organize the sessions where they have a specific table where they can present their project idea, pitch their project idea, and potentially engage other members of the community who could contribute as partners in the projects. So we have organized one of these sessions in Utrecht. It was already 2 years ago during the IRIS project final event. It was it the final event? Maybe it was not the final. Maria can confirm. And
no, it was a previous one.
The previous one. It was the pre-final event. And so I remember that there were several ideas that were pitched, and there was one specifically presented by Civiesco about building renovation that was called Super Shine, and it was an Horizon Europe call for proposals that they were applying for. And the city of Riga decided to join Civiesco for this journey, and actually the project was funded. So this was a good result of one of these meetings and collaborations. So they were funded to continue this collaboration further and with the grant, Horizon Europe grant. So this is a good example. Then I hope that there are many more. There are, for example, meetings that happened, for example, this year in Valencia. We we organized another partnership building session, and the city of Liepāja in Latvia was inspired by some of the presentations from the city of Valencia, and they decided to reach out to them to learn from them, and they have applied for an action grant to start and strengthen their collaboration, and actually they were granted, and their project is about to be to start. And so this is another good result. And then we have organized several knowledge sharing during the past years. Another successful example is the systemic changes in governance. So this was a hot topic that was mentioned by cities in several sessions and meetings as one of the main challenges on how to accelerate the process of transition. And we organized several consultations and workshops with cities to collect cities' inputs. And this resulted into a very a useful booklet that represents different examples on how this was tested and implemented in several cities around Europe. So these are some of the success stories that we can share.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that was more than one example, and I'm glad. And actually, Diego asked in the chat whether you have any online information about the meeting that you mentioned that took place in Utrecht.
So
yeah, so they can share, yeah.
Yeah, so actually there is a folder, there is a Drive folder that is available for all city coordinators group members, where there are all the minutes from all the meetings and the results from all the meetings. So Diego,
And the presentation.
And the presentations. So yes, Diego, you will soon receive access to this Drive folder, and you will be able to check all the documents that are in there. Unfortunately, this folder cannot be shared with non-members of the group.
And I think also another important thing about this folder and about the data that we share in the CCG is the other cities and the contacts. Who are these other people with you in the city coordinators group? So let's say that you're specifically looking for a partner in Sweden or a partner, I don't know, in Denmark, then you can join CCG. You can see if somebody there is also is from those cities, and you can reach out and you kind of have this bonding
Community. Yeah, it's really good that there is like this retroactivity to it, so that you still get access to all the knowledge and the exchange that have been accumulated like before new cities join. So I think this element of the shared repository is really like something that attendees today should keep in mind as something good extra to know about the group. But maybe there is any more. We still have like 5 minutes more or less. So if you have any even more practical, technical question that you would like to, this is the best time. Although the coffee is virtual, unfortunately, we're not there in person, but it's still the best time to ask directly to the people that are coordinating this group how it works, or how it could improve. Even if you're already members, it's a good moment to ask. So otherwise we still had a lot of good insight today and a lot of good contributions. But please, yeah, gather any final thoughts and questions if you do have some. Then maybe Elina, Sofia, if you want to add anything else that came to your mind.
I've said it all. I don't have anything else to add now.
Me neither. I think we shared everything, and of course, maybe we can just, as a reminder, you're very welcome to contact us then if you have further questions, if you need more information. And remember that because we have some members of the group already in this call, remember that you can use the group also to ask direct questions to the other members about, for example, the models for portfolio management for cities on climate projects. So, for example, these kind of questions can be shared directly also with the members of the community through our mailing list.
I'm seeing in the chat that I didn't answer a question. I'm sorry, I probably did not read it. If you can post it again.
I think it's something, a translation error. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
But Drjava, if you have a question, go ahead and ask. But I think it's a translation error.
Yeah, that's another outcome of such an international field of work, isn't it? But yeah, otherwise, if there is no further question, I think we were absolutely timely with today's Café. And if you have any final takeaways or suggestions on how you would like to, what translation? If you have the question that I didn't see, if you want to write it back into the chat so I can answer in case before we end today. Otherwise, if you have any suggestions for future cafes and you want to share it with us, you still have your Slido open here, and please do so. Oh, I see now. None of you, including yourself, are not interested. I think other cities may be interested into the project, so thank you for sharing the link. And if anybody has question about the projects, they can reach back to us, and we can put you in contact after this meeting, let's say. So yeah, if you have any final takeaways and things you would like to hear more about in the next cafes, please share them on the screen. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining us today. And thank you very much, Elina and Sofia, for giving such a clear and smooth presentation and for answering all the questions. I hope it was useful for the attendees. And as I already said, we will be sharing this presentation and the recording. The recording will be uploaded and the presentation will go out to the attendees with also some of the important questions that were raised as to further disseminate it. But yeah, so thank you very much. I hope you have a good actual coffee now or a second one. But it was very good to talk to you today, and hopefully I'll see you at the next cafe.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank you.
afternoon.
Bye-bye. Cheers.
Thank you. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Good.
I'm just managing the presentation. You've also been recording, right?
You started recording, so you can
Okay.
finish.
Okay. Stop recording.